Alright, you guys, we're back. My name is Jesse, and today we're going to try and fix this air compressor. So, I bought this on Facebook Marketplace for like 50 or 60 bucks, like 6 or 7 months ago, and it worked fine until recently. So, what's going on? Let's see if you guys can see. Normally, the compressor would turn on, and it would pump to about 150 psi, and then it automatically turns off. And then, as I'm using it for whatever I'm using it for, I would start to use the pressure in the tank, and then once it got to like below like 90, it would automatically turn on and it would go to 150 and stay between 190. So you always had pressure in the tanks while you were using it. That's not happening anymore. The compressor doesn't turn off; it just stays on all the time. And the only time the tanks get low is with this safety release valve. The safety release valve like opens once the pressure in the tanks gets too high, like probably like 160 or 170. This thing just fires open. It makes a super loud noise, like a gunshot almost, and it just lets the air out. It's like an emergency backup. Like if all else fails, like this will just pop open. And so I asked ChatGPT what the problem was, and he says that it's this air pressure switch. Sounds about right. I've kind of already taken most of this apart just so I can see what the part looks like before I ordered it. So I'll try and get a little close up here so you guys can kind of see what's going on. All right, try to get a close up as much as I can here. What's going on? See how that looks. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, so when I disassembled this earlier, you need some pliers, channel locks, mainly for this pressure switch, and then you're gonna need some Teflon tape, and then a set of Allen wrenches. That's kind of what you need to take this plastic housing off. And so I think it was like 4 of these screws that hold this in place. I think it's a 5/32 Allen key. All right, there's one. There's 2. And you're gonna need a screwdriver too. A Klein multi-screwdriver. If you don't have one, get one. Your life will never be the same afterwards. All right, there's the next screw. And then there's another one on this side. That's kind of what it looks like. All right. Another one over here. It's a little smaller. Alright, so this housing should just kind of pop off. There we go. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. Alright, so our pressure switch is right here. See if I can kind of zoom in there. Alright, pressure switch is right here. Okay. So this is the new one. And on top of the new one, there's 2 terminals. And then there's little spade connectors that we got to take off of the old one. Just some needle nose pliers. You probably don't need them. You probably just take them off with your hand. And then these are not specific to like a specific terminal. They just go to whichever spade terminal you connect them to. At least that's what ChatGPT said. All right. So, again, I've already loosened this just because I wanted to make sure I ordered the part right. But originally, when I first taken this off, this air pressure sensor switch was like welded on there super tight. I actually had to get some like WD-40 like PV blaster to spray it, soak it for a while because it was just on there. I couldn't even get it off with these channel locks. I had to get like a larger set that could give me a little bit more leverage, and finally it came off. All right, so this is our old one. I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of corroded already. So I don't know how old it is. And just do a little comparison. They look pretty much the same. So we'll see if it fixes our problem. It's just some Teflon tape. Just gonna wrap this a couple times. All right. Now start getting some resistance at the bottom now. Just gonna go turn here. That should be okay. I think I see soup that it was. Okay. Alright, put it on the thermals. Stay on. Okay, everything's back on. Alright. How does it sound? See if it works. Put it all back together. Alright, let's get down fast. Alright, let's give some power. Already on. Oh, alright, so we hit the power switch. See if it works. Alright, last time I was messing around with this compressor, I bought one of these pressure switches from Amazon, and I Teflon taped it, screwed it in, and it didn't work. The safety release valve on the compressor was still going off. The pressure switch wasn't cutting the motor off the compressor. So I returned the one on Amazon, and I picked this one up from Home Depot. This one apparently is made just for the Husky compressor, so I'm gonna try and give this one a shot. See if it works. Okay, this is our new one from Home Depot. And we're just gonna try and squeeze it in here. I don't want to tighten it too much. That's why I didn't last time. Just snug it up. Hopefully this works. Alright you guys, third time's the charm. I've already tested this out just to see if it works, but this is the third pressure switch I bought. The first one was just like a direct replacement off Amazon. I just got as close as I could to what was already on there. So this pressure switch will turn the compressor off at 155 psi, and then it'll turn back on at 125 psi. So I bought one that was 120 or 150, and that didn't work. And then I was like, well, maybe it's a cheap Amazon one. So I bought one from Home Depot. It says it works for this Husky, and it's the same 150 to 120. That didn't work. And so I bought one on Amazon, but it's 90 to 120 psi, and that works. And I was expecting for the compressor to turn off at 90 psi, but it actually went over to like almost 125 psi, and then it turned off. So I'm not sure if the gauge is what's not working. Something in here isn't working, but at least the compressor now turns off with that 90 to 120 psi, which is, I just wanted it the compressor to turn off instead of the safety valve constantly just blowing off, which that's like last resort. You don't want to keep doing that, but we're just gonna do a quick test just so you guys can see it. There you go. Compressor turned off all by itself at about 125 psi. Oh wait, yeah, and so about 5 pounds off. That's the one I ended up getting. I don't know if the 150s go just past enough that the safety, it doesn't give enough time for the pressure switch to reach the limit before the safety valve goes off. So maybe this is going bad. So I actually got one of those too, which is this one. But I'll mess with this some other, this will probably be a video for another time. But it seems to be working perfect, just kind of how I wanted it. I mainly just use this to fill tires, little things around the house. I don't really run like a nail gun or anything like that. So it seems to have worked, fixed the problem. All right, real quick before you guys take off, just looking for some feedback on some videos. I feel like I do a lot of solar stuff because that's what I really like, and I've done a lot of research and have a decent amount of experience just kind of building my own system and developing it. But I feel like I've made enough videos where I think I've covered a lot of the bases, but that's just my own opinion. I'm curious what other questions about solar you guys have, whether it's mounting solar panels or inverters or batteries or the cost breakdown, anything like that you guys think that like, oh, you're curious about or have, you know, had a question about. Just shoot me a comment or something and let me know, so that way we can make a video, and I'll tell you just on my own experiences, and if I don't know, then we'll just kind of look it up and we'll do research and we'll kind of learn about it, and then that'll be the video. But in the meantime, I will catch you guys on the next one, and we'll see you.